Another day, another conversation. Yeah? Though bado outfit ni ile. Msijali.
Is it really another day?
Another day, another conversation.
It has to be that way.
It has to.
Please.
I mean, the last the last conversation we uploaded was different. Totally
It was
different.
another day.
It was another day. This is another day, another conversation, another episode.
Thank you.
You know? Yeah, so don't worry. Usijali ati this is still the same outfit. We roll like this.
We roll.
Yeah. Ndio tunaanza. Yeah, ndio tunaanza. You know? Yeah, I hear people change outfits out here when they're doing videos and all that. Yeah, we are coming to those levels. This is our humble beginning.
Sisi ndo tuko.
Shikilia. Sisi ndio tuko. Sisi ndio tuko.
Okay, let's just have great conversations.
Yeah, let's just have a conversation. Yeah, so welcome to Kibali and Candy Conversation. This is T.U.G Podcast, and we appreciate you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for subscribing, liking, and commenting. We are really loving the interaction on the comment section. We are loving how you're loving on us.
Yes.
So God really bless you.
Yes.
Yeah, so another episode.
Another episode.
Season 1, episode 2.
Yeah, it's season 1, episode 2
This
already.
is episode 2, yes.
Yes.
Yes, and following our earlier conversation on episode 1, we talked about how we met.
Yes.
And today, we want to talk about whether it matters how and where you meet someone.
Wow.
Yeah? Because people meet in different places, different circumstances, different environments. Does it matter? Well, we met in church.
Yes.
Just an example.
Yes.
But it doesn't mean when you meet in church, because I think if you watched our previous conversation, if you haven't watched, I will pin or, copy the link to that conversation down below. So check that out if you haven't. Because during that conversation, we said we met in church.
Yes.
And one thing led to another, and we are here married and happily married, you know? And when we say that, it doesn't mean that when you meet in church, it will always work.
By the way, yeah.
It will not always work.
Yes.
And there are crazy stories out here that how people met in church and it went sideways.
Yes,
you know?
yes.
So, and people meet in different places. People have met in clubs.
In clubs, in workplaces. Parties.
In classrooms. And,
schools.
Yeah, schools. I've had people say, oh, mi siwezi date mtu nasoma na yeye. Even workplaces. I've had people say, me, I can't date someone.
And actually, I've had people say that they cannot date a church guy.
Wow.
Yes.
And I think a lot of ladies have something, I don't want to say against, but they don't want church boys.
Yeah, maybe. They have their own reasons, and I respect that.
What is this thing about ladies and bad boys?
I don't know.
Pia sisi by the way hukuwa wa romantic. Sisi ma church boys. Anyway, so
maybe it's the stories you've had, probably.
Maybe. So all
that have
these
not
things,
worked. Yeah.
How, where, does it really matter? You've met someone in a club, mlienda tu raving, and you've met in a club.
Yes.
Spark. Unajipata umemlike, anajipata amekulike.
Yes.
All of a sudden, or after some time, you are a thing. And probably the life of partying continues because that's where you met.
Yes.
And all of you are party people.
Yes.
Does it really matter?
What I would say, it's a yes and no.
Uh-huh.
I have the two sides.
No problem. Fair enough.
Yes, because yes, it matters. You've given an example of maybe what example would I give?
Uh-huh.
Maybe you've met in a club setting.
Yeah.
Maybe you've gone
Yeah.
for a party.
Right.
Just maybe to enjoy yourself in your own way. And this is where you've met this person.
Yeah.
So to me, if this person continues with the life that you met them in, or continues to go for the clubbing and all that, would you or will you blame that person?
Not necessarily.
I'm just posing a question.
Yeah. I don't think you would, because that's where you met.
My thinking.
And you were indulging as well.
Exactly. So probably to some extent, you might change your life.
Yeah.
Maybe as a lady,
I
would say, enough of this party life. And things change. Probably you'll become parents one day and you'll like the life of partying and all that in clubs, not me anymore. Maybe past that, or you even, you just decide to change your life from that lifestyle.
Yeah.
This other person decides, you know what? It's my life. After all, you met me there.
This is how we met.
Yeah. That's where you met me, and that's how you loved me, actually.
Yeah.
So will you have a right of maybe condemning that person?
Well,
I don't know.
I don't think so. I don't think so. And by the way, taking your example, well, the clubbing life, you meet someone, either clubbing or a party.
Yes.
All of you are indulging. And at some point, it comes to a point where you both want to settle down.
Yes.
And most of the time, it is the lady who will reduce the partying life.
Yes.
You know? And probably at some point as well, she will begin feeling uncomfortable.
Yes.
With that life. And that's where conversations like, I will change him, begin coming up.
Good.
You know? And it becomes very tedious. It's not a nice thing to do.
It's very draining.
Very draining. Very tiring.
Yes.
Because, when you begin saying that, I will begin to change him, personally, only God can change people.
Yes. And also, a person, the inner self, the decision to change comes from within.
The person has to be willing to change.
Yes.
Yeah. So, the environment of how people meet. There could be other environments where you think, let's take, for example, church. In your mind, you would think, church is a safe space.
Yes.
You go there, you are a very prayerful person.
Yes.
You meet another very prayerful person.
Yes.
And you think, because we are in Christianity,
yes,
and this person looks like, a Christian who is well grounded,
yes,
and looks very principled. And you think, well, I don't think this is a bad person. I think we can begin something.
Because you found this person
in church. And that is the environment. Only for you later to realize, this person is not as I thought.
Yes.
And that's when I think that's the reason why I say, before you even begin, because for me, I will always stand for, you can always break up in a relationship. It's easier. Well, I know there's heartbreak and all that, but it's better during a relationship than
in marriage. Yes.
So that's why I say, every time, learn people or learn that person.
And take your time.
Take your time.
Yes.
Learn them very well.
Take your time.
And people get in relationships just Some have the mind of, I want to settle down. Some are there just to have a relationship. And there are people who don't focus on learning. This is not person you've grown up together.
But do you know there are people who hide their main character during dating?
The whole time. The whole time.
Well,
you must be very good to do that.
You must be very good to do that. But also what I can say, do not ignore the red flags that you see during the dating or courting period.
Right.
Do not ignore. Just to think, thinking about settling down and marriage and maybe the flashy weddings.
Yeah.
Do not ignore the red flags that you see during courtship or dating.
Well, following up on your point, that there are people who are very good at hiding who really they are. But I don't think that you can do that very consistently. At some point, you will not be able to keep up.
And not to say by the you'll unleash your whole character. Of course, there are things we come even to learn about each other during marriage.
Yes.
But not things that you can't live without.
Right.
I mean, there are things you can live with.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not those extra things that you're like, I can't keep up with this. So I think during that time, it's good to know that person's friends. You know? And as much as you get to learn the person, I think you also get to interact with the person's friends. Because also from friends, you can be able to gauge and tell, Sometimes even invite them somewhere for lunch, an outing. That way you'll get to know someone, get to know their energy, get to know their values, get to know where they how they take life generally, So I think where and how people meet, the environment, just like you said, is a yes and a no.
Yeah.
Yes, because you will meet someone in an environment where much later when you continue with life, both of you, the environment where you met creeps in to your future life.
Yes. Yes.
So at some point, it matters.
At some point, it matters.
Yeah.
But again, I said yes, and I explained the yes.
Yes.
I would say no, because it also matters the person.
I think that's the biggest thing as well.
Yes.
I think it's the biggest thing. The person matters.
Yes.
A lot.
Because as you say, it doesn't matter where you meet the person, whether in church, whether in clubs, whether in school, whether during maybe your friends meeting and then they came with friends, doesn't matter to some extent, because it matters the person.
Yes.
What is the
because
motive
you can also meet
of that
someone in
person?
church and the person is really
maybe this is a person
something
who
else.
came to church one day and spotted, there is a lady there in church who is so committed, it is, and maybe ako hivi na hivi,
and I've heard of boys who
and
consistently
then they consistently go to that
to church after wamekupata,
and not to guys only, even ladies. Yes, even ladies. Yes, it happens. Even ladies, it happens. So to me, it's a yes or no. It's a yes or no answer.
Yeah.
But I would say it really matters the person. What's your motive, your character, your inner character,
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I would say.
And well, now that our circle is in Christianity, yes, we are widening our conversation.
Yes.
Well, as a Christian who's really a Christian, not a nominal Christian, just a born-again Christian, I think it sort of guides you how and when to meet someone.
And where.
And where.
Yes.
Because you're coming from a background where you have a certain lifestyle and certain values.
Yes.
And that guides you on who to look out for.
Yes.
you know. As compared to someone who is not sort of coming from a Christianity background, and they are rooted and grounded in faith,
Yes.
such that they know how they know how they will look out for someone, or the values they will want to see in a person they want to date, because someone who's out here in the world, yes, not to say that they don't have values, they do, but at some point I don't think it is so grounded and in such a way that you will overlook the values. I don't know whether I'm making sense. Such that probably you would go for someone because of how they look, not their values.
Yes. Yes.
So that's what I'm saying. Out here in the world, I think people have values. That I know. They have values. And not to say that everyone out here who is not born again or who is not a Christian,
that they don't have
values. They do. But at some point, I think it's overridden by just looks. Sometime, not always. Sometime. So I'm saying, whether you are a Christian or not, I think following values is very important.
Yes. Key.
Because yes, you might meet someone in a club. So what if at some point in future you want to change that life?
Exactly.
You met in church, and at some point this person is no longer a church person. What happens at that point?
By the way, what happens at that point?
It's the same thing as the person you met in a club.
Very
if
true.
they don't want to if they want to continue with life and you don't, it's very difficult to to change that person. The same, you meet in church and that person is no longer going to church. And when you talk to them about it, they are very furious. And they don't want that conversation altogether.
Yes.
What do you do at that point? These are grown up. Probably you've already moved in together or even
married.
And it's not a conversation they are ready to have.
But what are this person's values?
Exactly. And that's what informs the beginning of you people coming together, of you beginning a relationship. So, yes, at some point, the environment and where matters. But I think the number one thing that matters the most is the person that you want to, to date, and your values as well, as a person.
Yes.
Because you will have to evaluate this person. Is this the kind of person I would want to spend my life with?
Yes. Exactly.
Is this the person I have always envisioned? Yeah.
Yeah, and that is why in our previous video, actually, I said that, like, to me, my prayer was, God, give me a person that I am not coming to change. And to change means...
You didn't want to do God's work.
No.
Yeah.
I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to do God's work.
Yeah.
What about people? Maybe someone would ask, you've talked about looks.
Yeah.
But nowadays, it's not about looks. It's about the wallet.
Money.
It's about the wallet.
Well, still looks Zico, but I think like you're saying, it's sort of shifting.
The generation we are in right now.
I think that it still goes back.
Number one, what do you want?
Yes.
And what are the values of this person?
And by the way, I don't think if you're not valued, you should expect the other person to be valued.
It should start with you.
Yes. I don't think if you're not valued, as in you don't have values, that you should expect much from the other person.
Oh, yes.
Yes. If if you're demanding some values from the other person,
yes,
I think you should as well reciprocate and have values as well.
very true.
Because this is partnership. Well, I don't think partnership is the right word, or could be, but in a relationship, that is expected.
And it's two-way. By the way,
Yes.
it should be two-way.
It should be. It should be. It should be two ways. I really feel for people out here who met in certain environments and it's no longer working. Because that's a really bad place to be in. Yeah. And some people are in marriages, others in situationships, others in come we stay, and it's really hard to get out.
So what can you tell someone? Of course, I mean, when it comes to marriage, it's, as you said, it's not like a relationship whereby you'll just break up and move on, and marriage is something.
Well, I think the very first thing to do is probably see a counselor.
Yes.
A really good marriage counselor.
Marriage counselor.
If you're married, see a marriage counselor. See someone who can sit you down and have a sober conversation with.
Yes.
Just the two, you as a couple and the person. I think that should be the beginning. I don't think breaking up, if you're married, I don't think divorcing should be the first option.
Of course not.
Of course not. Let's go for other options before it gets there.
Yes, yes, yes.
If you're dating,
and of course maybe prayers as well,
and a lot of, but at this in that situation, most of the time you'll find out that it is only one person who's praying.
Yes.
About it.
Yes.
And it is very important. You just continue praying. If you're in a relationship, for me, I don't think it's a big deal breaking up a relationship.
It's not.
Just have a seat and say,
if it's
this
not,
is not
by
working
the, if
for me.
a relationship is not working, and of course they are tangible, or what do I call them?
You have reasons why it is
and
not
good
working.
reasons why you can't live with that person.
Yes.
Please.
Just sit them down and tell them, I don't think this is working because of this and this. Because remember,
do not force.
Yeah. Because remember, this is someone who you're going to spend your life with.
Yes. Yes.
And let your breaking up be informed by values, not material things.
Good. Oh, I like that.
Yeah, because I think some people, even though they see a relationship is not working, I think some people want to stick with that person because of what they have in terms of material things. But let me tell you, material things do not sustain marriages. You know? One of the things that sustain marriages is trust, and prayers, and compatibility. Compatibility that is not informed by material things. Get what I'm saying?
Yes.
So don't hang on to someone thinking that they will change. And you're hanging in there just because of what they have. I mean, God has already given you life. You have health. You're working.
Yes.
And even if you're not working, God will open doors. So just move on with life, and you will get someone else who befits you.
Yes.
And who is compatible.
Yes.
Who you can have a proper marriage with.
Yes. Yes.
So I don't think that you should hang on to a relationship that you know for sure this is not working.
Oh, nice.
Because a lot of people have gotten into marriages when they knew from the very beginning this is not working. And really, you can't blame that person that much.
Yes, yes.
You had an opportunity to sit them down and tell them, I don't think it's working. And there are people who have sat other people down and tell them it's not working. And it was good. Yes.
So don't succumb to pressure or
Don't.
society pressures.
Don't. And don't succumb to your needs. And if this person goes, I don't know what I will do. If this person goes, I don't know how I'll pay my bills. I mean, find something to do.
But
Pray.
a breakup is not easy. But
It is not.
what I can say,
Yeah.
it's actually, it hurts.
It does.
does.
It does.
But what I can say is time heals. It one day
Yes,
at
we
a
know
time.
a breakup is
Time-
not going to be easy.
time heals. And
Yes.
one day it will make sense to
It
you
will.
why you had
Yes.
to leave.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
And just like we're saying, we're not, in a relationship, especially people who have stayed for some time, let's say even a year, and they have been in a relationship, you have invested a lot in that relationship.
A lot.
Your time, your feelings, emotions. And so breaking up, it's not easy. It's going to hurt. But it rather hurt for some time, for a short period of time, rather than lifetime. When you are with that person.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So make a good choice now. And I always say, during a relationship is the best time to make best decisions. Whether this is the right person or not.
Or not.
After that, when you have settled down with that person, it's not going to be an easy decision. It's not going to be the best decision, actually. And there is a lot at stake. During relationship, it's just the two of you.
Yeah. Yes.
But when you have settled down with someone, there's also family.
And in a relationship, you're not together for a long time.
No.
So can you imagine, it's a relationship that is not working. You're not living together.
Right.
You're meeting maybe around at most 6 hours. In a marriage, this is someone you're with today, tomorrow, at
Every
night,
single day.
tomorrow. Oh my goodness.
Yes. And at that time as well, it's not just two of you. Yes, you might be living together, the two of you. But remember, there are two families
Coming together.
Yes. And so it takes a lot.
And remember, this is not your blood. This is someone you are not born with.
Absolutely.
Oh.
Yeah. So I think the biggest thing out of this conversation is that the person matters a lot.
Doesn't matter where it's the person first.
It's the person first, but also the environment where you meet. It might matter or not. But I think our stand would be, because we are Christians, our stand would be the environment where you meet someone matters.
Sure.
Because I don't think as a born-again Christian, if I met a lady in a club and they are drinking and all that, I don't think I would say this is the person.
Sure. Yes, makes sense.
So my lifestyle as a Christian also informs me of the values I have and the values I should look out for in another person.
Yes. Actually, as you said, it should start with you first.
It should start with you first.
Great.
And I wouldn't feel comfortable that I'm going to church or I am going for a fellowship during the week and my partner is somewhere clubbing.
It's a Friday evening. You're going for Acacia and the other person is in Acacia somewhere else.
To some extent, as a Christian, the environment will matter. To some extent. Not wholly, to some extent. Because there are places where you would meet someone and it wouldn't be the right environment to inform your relationship, the beginning of your relationship.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
supposing this person maybe changes or wills to change
Well
before.
and good. When people change for the better, the better.
Yeah, so guys, let us know on the comment section. What's your take? Does it really matter?
Yes.
Does it really matter where and how you met someone?
Yeah.
That was just our,
is this our conversation?
Our conversation.
Our opinion?
Yeah, our opinion.
Yeah.
Please share. Let's discuss. Let's discuss and hear your views as well.
Yeah.
Let's learn together also.
Right.
Yeah.
So we'd love to hear what your thoughts are in the comment section below. Let's hear from you. And probably we might react to those comments as well.
Yeah.
In one of these episodes.
Yes.
Yeah, we might react on that and see what you have to say. Yeah, so that's it for today. We hope that you have learned something.
Yes.
We hope that there was a takeaway because on T.U.G podcast, we influence for Christ, and our belief is that our conversations will impact and transform generations.
Yes, and generations.
Yes. Yeah, so that's it for today. Until the next one.
Until the next one.
See you.
See you.